Hassan from Infinity Vans, and today we're going to be installing our Infinity Vans base kit into a 144 Sprinter. We'll be installing the finished birch version, but be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video so you can see all the options we have for our base kit, all the materials, all the colors, the most options out there for any kit for your walls and ceiling, from bamboo to birch, laminates, and even our felt kit. So let's get building, get the kit in, and you can see how easy it is to install our base kit and how nice it looks once it's done. All right, so we've got the sub panels in, we're ready to do the finished panels. First you got to put in any trim rings. So we've got the Go Code universal trim ring we're putting in with the flares. We've got one in, we've got the front window trim ring in, and I'm just going to demo the one remaining one here and the best ways to attach it before putting on the finished panels, and then we will apply the finish. Okay, so we'll put this last trim ring in. We use the Forstner bit to take out a little bit more material so that the screw head lies flush. So we'll just fit that in there and pin it. You really only need to pin it with probably just 4 screws, because the finished panel is going to go over it and hold it in place. It'll bolt on with the Elrak, so it'll be really tight and it'll hold it in there, but just pin it with a few screws to keep it in place while you're doing the rest of the install. Okay, so the Go Code trim does come with pre-drilled holes for when we're ready to install our trim pieces, but you're going to want to kind of chamfer them out a little with the Forstner bit. It has that little bit on it that creates room for the head of the screw so it doesn't bulge out like that and ends up sitting flush like that. And here on the wiring, you're going to want to pull this harness out of these holes, get rid of these plastic clips because they create more bulk and push your panels out at the top. So you'll take those off, and that allows you to just kind of really get everything tucked into this little 1/2-inch space above the sub panels. So try to get that just kind of all nice and kind of flattened out in there. It really, in this case, we've got extra speaker wire, we've got the water line, so that all has to be kind of just flattened out so that you can get the panel up there. All right, so we got the trim in, and now it's time to do the pre-wiring before we throw in the finished panels. So we just put in this 12 gauge wiring from PowerWorks. It fits perfectly into our channels, so we'll just run that to all the junction points so there's power all over the van, and then we'll throw on our finished panels. Okay, so you can run multiple circuits through the walls here in our wire channels. This is the light circuit for the ceiling lights. We've got one circuit running down for the fridge, and then up and over. Everything will originate from this back corner, usually is how we do it, and connect it to the power system back here. There's another line going up to the front, so you just try to get power to every part of the van, whether you're going to use it now or later. You've got it set up. Okay, so we've got all of our pre-wiring done. Now we're ready to put in the finished panels. So we'll start with the walls, do the ceiling, and then we'll be ready for the Elrak. Okay, so now we're ready for the Elrak. So this will just fit in the slot, and you'll hand tighten them first with these M6 bolts that come with the kit, and it's a T30 starhead bit that you use to install them. These pieces of Elrak come with these little caps at the end, make it look nice and finished. So you just throw those in, put this up here, and just get everything in, you know, hand tighten, keep it kind of loose because we want to make sure our panels are all flush and straight. And once everything looks good, then we'll tighten everything, the binding bolts, the Elrak, and finish off with these little screws at the end that go in the caps. All right, so let's get the rest of the Elrak in. All right, so the last thing is just to get these little screws in the end caps. And it's nice to just do a little pre-drill. And then just screw that in. There we go. All right, so after we got the Elrak in, we're just going to put in our little cover plates for the junction boxes. So these are meant to access your 12-volt wiring, and you just put a couple of inserts in, just like we did on the rest of the sub panels, and that takes the same bolt that we used for the finished panels to apply it. So just throw that up there, put a couple of bolts in it, and tighten her up, and you got it covered. And the cool thing about these plates is you could mount like a reading light on this. You could put a USB port in it, you know, for all your 12-volt power kind of accessories. If you plan to do any kind of 110 AC outlets, we recommend just finding a spot in the wall that would work well for that, with a cavity behind it in the sub panel, and use an actual junction box to do that kind of wiring. Okay, well, there you go. The Infinity Van base kit installed. This version is our finished birch version, but we can build this kit in many different materials. That's the great thing about it. Very flexible. We can do it in an unfinished birch. We can do it in a finished bamboo, this light bamboo or dark bamboo. If it's unfinished, you can use the Rubio monocoats to basically stain it almost 100 different colors. And then we've got it available in a Formica laminate on top of that, 1/4 inch birch. So you've got hundreds of options there. And finally, our felt version. This material is amazing. It's very light, but it's rigid, light, soft to the touch. Comes in 42 different colors, sound deadening, insulative. So it's just really a great material to have in your van, and we love this. So that's all of your options. I mean, hundreds of options to finish off your kit. You're not going to find that kind of variety out there except here at Infinity Vans. So please subscribe below for updates. We got more products coming out, and just tips and tricks on building out your van. All right, thanks.